Right, hi everyone, welcome back to, well hello if you're new to my channel, Makewell, Miss Markwell, or welcome back. So today I'm going to be doing a sewing tutorial of how to sew buttons. I have been asked to do this video many times. One of the reasons I have included a year 8 sewing project, because I had a lot of students throughout the years coming in to say, can you sew my button on, Miss? So the reason I do this project is a life skill, and also now all my students can sew on buttons. Some of them still come in and say, can you put my button on? I'm like, no, I taught you to sew. You know how to do this. So I'm going to get some close-ups now, and let's sew on a button. Right, so this is my setup we have. I'm going to do 2 different types of buttons, one with 2 holes, one with 4 holes. I'm going to flip it around because I think that's what size should it be. Actually, I've got a bigger button here. Let's get that button. This might be better. Let's swap that around. Let's get rid of that. Here we go. I'm going to go with a bigger button. Might be easier to sew. Maybe the smaller one. Anyway, make a decision. So I have a big embroidery needle. So one of the things I need to do first is just check if my needle will go through the hole. It will. And for this one as well. Let me see which side. Students will say, which side should I put it on? The flat side, if you've got... so I would have that on the top and have that touching the fabric. Let's see if this one goes through. Ready? Whee! Will it go through the small one? I'm going to say no. I know it won't. I'm tricking you. No. So what I would do, if that's the case, I would get a tinier needle. Check. Yay. And then you will need to change and have smaller thread. But because I'm using the big needle, I'm going to use the embroidery thread. But I'm going to put these to one side for now. I'm going back to this camera, as long as my arm. Pull the thread. We don't want it too long. And I'm just going to cut that. Okay, put that to one side. Okay, thread it through the eye of the needle. Have we got it? Yeah, we got it. Remember, I'm not going to double it up. You could double it up for the button. If I was using this thread, I probably would double it up. But I'm just going to keep my walking stick. So remember the walking stick. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to tidy up my area. I'm going to work with the 2 buttonhole first, and I'm going to start off by creating my anchor stitch. So imagine this is your jacket, your shirt. I'm just going to pinch a little bit of the fabric. You don't want loads of the fabric, you want less, because you want to be neat and tidy on the other side. Okay, let's see if we can flip it around. That you can't see the needle. If I'm doing loads, you can see that needle. We don't want to do that. Let's do it again. Pick up a little bit. There you go. Perfect. Now I'm going to pull. Remember what we want is a centimetre. Tell me when it's a centimetre. Don't stop middle. Keep going on the waist that fabric thread. About a centimetre. Is that a centimetre? There. Perfect. I'm going to go again. I'm going to now hold it, my finger and thumb, and do it again. Oh, less. Perfect. I don't know if I've got shadow. Okay, and we want that loop. What shape? Not a triangle, not a square, a loop, a circle. And tidy it up. There you go, and go behind. Keep an eye on your walking stick. Pull. Perfect. You could do that 2 or 3 times. Like I said, I'm going to do it 2. Just for the video, you get it. And go. Perfect. Look at that. Now, what I'm going to do is... Some students just know straight away how to put it on. I love that. We're going to pop it on that way so it sits there. Yeah, and then I'm going to go in through there. I'm going to try and put that in the similar space of where my anchor stitch is. Well, we started off with an anchor stitch, remember? An anchor knot. Look at that. Now I'm going to flip it around because what I want to do is I don't want to make a mess at the back. I'm going to try and go in to the right hole, and I'm going to go back in for the left, she says. It's looking a bit messy, so it's difficult to film it. You can make a better job of this. And I'm just going to keep going. Let's get this tidy. So I'm going to flip it around, keep an eye. I could have made that a lot neater. There we go. And then we're going to go now back to the left. And I'm going to do that about, I don't know, quite a few times. Oh my gosh. Okay. and I'm going to keep going back in. Now that's really messy, I could do a better job, but anyway. So once I've done it a few times, I'm going to say 7. My mum says do it more. As long as it's secure and doesn't fall off. I think you could add a bit more, that is quite loose. I'm going to do a couple more. Okay, and do one more. Nice. Now what I want to do is I want to go back in and I want to have that needle underneath the button. This is a good tailor technique that I was taught. So I'm going to now wrap that on, because you know when you put your button through the buttonhole on your jacket, you don't want it to be snug and difficult to put it through the hole. So you want to wrap it around. Let's see if you can see this. See that? So I'm going to wrap it around a few times. And then maybe I'm going to do 7. 7's a lucky number. And then if you have a look, you've got a little bit of space between the fabric, and then go back in from the back, and then I'm going to create that anchor stitch again, just if not, it's all going to fall out. You don't want to lose your button. And I'm going to pull, make the loop, and do it a few times. Obviously, if I went with a smaller thread, it would be neater, matching the colour of the fabric. But for this tutorial, I just want you to see it. There you go. And then what you're going to do with the thread, you're going to cut it off. Make sure it's secure. And then you have your button. I could tidy that little whisker off as well. But just have a look. You've got that nice, I like how they wrap around. So you've got the distance between the fabric, easy to put it through the buttonhole. And that is how you do a 2-hole button. With the 4, I had some students ask, what would you do with that? You could go in crosses or you could go horizontal. Someone said, oh, I could go into a square shape. You could, it's up to you. And that's the same process of that one. And then if you want to use a smaller buttonhole, find a thread or cotton and a tiny needle. There you go. That's it. That was my tutorial on how to sew a button. It was a bit messy because it was difficult to sew. I might redo that one, I don't know, but I've got year 8s this week, so I made that quickly for you. Okay, thank you for watching my sewing tutorial videos. I hope I'm going to get back into Miss Markwell, bring back the food tutorials as well, and the sewing machine. I've got some ideas, everyone. Thank you for watching. Is my dog still there? She is. She's still there. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye. Oh, please like, subscribe and leave a comment. It's really nice when people do. Do what you want to do. Nice if you could support my channel. I'm back. And yeah, good old shy then. Thanks for watching. Bye. Okay.